Hey guys, hi, welcome back. In the previous video, we have discussed about the thermodynamic processes, and in this video, we shall discuss about the law of thermodynamics. So first, we will see the first law of thermodynamics. So if you see the first law of thermodynamics, it states that if two bodies are individually in equilibrium with a separate third body, then the first two bodies are also in thermal equilibrium with each other. That means if you have two bodies A and B, all right, and it is in thermal equilibrium with a third body C, you can say A is equilibrium in separately, it is in equilibrium, okay, with C. B is also what? In equilibrium separately with C. Then A and B, they will be also in thermal equilibrium. This is what the Zeroth law says. All right, if A is in equilibrium separately with a third body C, B is in equilibrium with a third body C individually, then A and B, they will be also in thermal equilibrium, right? This is what the Zeroth law says. Clear? Now let's come to the first law of thermodynamics. The first law of thermodynamics, it is also called as the law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy. All right. Now we will see what the first law states. The first law states that some of the heat given to a system, it is used to change the internal energy while the rest is doing work. Okay. So if you have a system and if dq amount of heat is supplied to the system, then it will what? It will change its internal energy. All right, and some of the heat will be used in doing work. So here dq is the heat supplied to the system, du is the change in the internal energy, and dw is the work done. All right, now you see, using the first law of thermodynamics, we can say that when heat is supplied to a system, then it will change its internal energy, and also some work will be done. The rest heat will be used in doing work. Now you see, if dq is positive, you have to remember that if dq is positive, if dq is positive, that means there is a transfer of heat into the system. Heat is transferred into the system. Heat is transferred into the system. All right. Again, if you see, if W is positive, work done is positive, then there is work done by the system. Then work is done by the system. Work is done by the system. All right. In this case, work is done by the system. Clear? You can write the first law as du, it is equals to dq minus w. All right, internal energy will increase when heat is given to the system. Just remember, internal energy, it will increase when heat is given to the system. This is the point that you need to remember. So this is what the first law says. All right, now we will see the first law in different processes. In different processes, we shall see the first law of thermodynamics. In the previous lecture, we have seen, but once again, let's see the first law in different processes. Let's see for cyclic process. We have discussed cyclic process is a process in which what? A system is moving from one state to another state from through what? Different states, and it is coming back to the original state, then that particular process is said to be cyclic process, right? If you say a system is starting from a initial position A, it is coming to the state B, and again it is going back to the state what? A. In that case, what you will see, the internal energy in this case at this point, it will be same. There is no change in the internal energy, yes or no? So du is equals to 0, because du internal energy is a state function. State function means what? It is not depending upon the path. State function, it is path independent. All right, so In cyclic process, what happens? The internal energy is equals to 0. Now you see the first law of thermodynamics was dq is equals to du plus dw, and we already know dw can be written as pdv. Right now it is not required, but we already have seen this. Now you see, if this internal energy it is 0 for cyclic process, then dq it will be equals to what? It will be equals to dw. That means the amount of heat supplied or the change in the heat, it is equals to the change in the work done. So this is the first law of thermodynamics in case of cyclic process. Now we will see isochoric. We have already seen isochoric process is which process? Where volume is constant. V is constant. If volume is constant, then dV it is equals to 0. Right. So if you see, you can write the first law, dq is equals to what? Du plus dw. dw can be written as pdv. Yes or no? That means this term dw it will be equals to 0 for isochoric process, and you can write dq it is equals to du. That is the change in the heat, it is equals to the change in the internal energy. Right? If heat is positive, then internal energy will what? Increase. And if heat is what? Negative, then internal energy is what? Decreasing. That means if heat is given to the system, then it is positive. That means the internal energy will increase. If heat is given by the system, all right, in that case the internal energy will decrease as the heat will be negative. All right, now let's see the adiabatic process. We will see which process? We will see the adiabatic process. All right, we know that in case of adiabatic process, the heat exchange, there is no heat exchange. dq is equals to 0. That means heat is what? Constant. So if dq is equals to 0, you know the first law of thermodynamics is dq is equals to du plus dw. So this dq it is equals to 0. That means du plus dw it is equals to 0. Or you can write du it is equals to minus of what? pdv, because we can write dw is equals to pdv. Now you see here, in this particular case, the internal energy is equals to what? Minus of pdv. That means if work is done by the system, then what will be there? If work is done by the system, then the work done is positive, right? If work is done by the system, we know now if work is done by the system, then it's positive. Work is done on the system, then it is negative. So work is done by the system, then it will be what? Work done is positive. You know, positive and negative will become what? Negative. In that case, what will happen? The internal energy du, it will be what? Negative. That means the final energy will be what? Less than the initial energy. Yes or no? Then what will happen? U final, it is less than U initial. All right. Now, if work is done on the system, if work is done on the system, then what will be there? Then it will be work done is negative. If work done is negative, then that means what? The du will become what? Positive. Yes or no? du is becoming positive. That means what? The internal energy is what? Increasing. Internal energy will what? Increase. Right? So this is all about the first law of thermodynamics in case of adiabatic process. You have to just remember the condition that in adiabatic process, dq is equals to 0. In isobaric process, the pressure is constant. In isochoric process, the volume is constant. In cyclic process, what is happening? The internal energy is constant, right? Internal energy is equals to 0. All right, now you will see the free expansion. Now we will see the thermodynamic law, first law in free expansion. So what happens in free expansion? In free expansion, there is no heat. Okay, heat supplied dq is equals to 0. The change in heat supplied is 0. Also, the work done is also equals to what? 0. Then you see, if dq is equals to 0, if dw is equals to 0, We know the first law. First law is what? dq is equals to du plus dw. Now dq is also equals to 0, dw is equals to 0. That means du is equals to what? 0. That means the internal energy is constant. What you can say? That is internal energy is constant. That means their internal energy for the initial state, U initial internal energy, it is equals to what? U final, right? So you can say free expansion is an expansion, is a type of expansion in which what? There is no external work done and the total internal energy of the system will remain constant. Free expansion is that system in which there is no change in the heat and no work is done, and the internal energy is what? It is constant. So this is what the free expansion says. All right. Now we will see the limitations. Now what we will see? We will see the limitations of the first law of thermodynamics. So because of the limitations of the first law of thermodynamics, what did we get? We get the, or we have moved into the second law, you can say. Now we will see the limitations of first law of thermodynamics. You see, in case of the first law of thermodynamics, it is not saying about the direction of the flow of it. It does not explain. It does not explain the direction of flow of heat. This is the first thing. It is not explaining whether the process is a spontaneous process or not. That means you can say it is not explaining whether the process is spontaneous or not. All right. And the third is what? You see, by energy conservation, what we see by energy conservation, what do we see? By energy conservation, we see work is converted into heat. Then heat must be what? Completely converted into what? Work. Yes or no? But this is not possible. Heat cannot be converted into work in a natural way. Because if it could be done, we could do what? We could drive ships across the ocean by extracting heat from the water of ocean. Yes or no? By conservation of flow, we know that work can be converted into heat and heat can be converted into work. But if heat could be converted completely into work, in that case, what we could do, we could drive ships across the ocean by extracting heat from the water of ocean. But it is not possible. Heat cannot be converted into work in a natural way. All right. The first is what? The direction of flow of heat. It does not say the direction of flow of heat because you see, we don't know that heat is what? Transferring from a hot body to cold body or cold body to hot body according to the first law of thermodynamics. But now through the experiments, we know that heat is a spontaneous process, right? It will what? Heat is transferred from a hot body to a cold body. All right. And now you see, is it possible that if you have a cup of coffee which you have left in a room and after some time what, the coffee will cool down, then is it possible after some time again the heat from the cold room, it can be converted into the what, it can make the coffee hot? It is not possible. So it is not explaining that whether heat can be completely converted into work. So these are the limitations of the first law of thermodynamics. It does not say the direction of the flow of heat or the process is spontaneous or not, and also it is not saying that whether work and heat they are mutually convertible. All right. Complete conversion of heat into work, it is not explaining, and that is not possible to in a natural way. Clear? Because there must be some external work done to convert heat into work completely. All right. Now let's see some problems related to the first law of thermodynamics. So what is the first question? If the equation of state for a gas with internal energy U is PV is equals to U by 3, This is the equation of state for a gas with internal energy U. Then equation of state in adiabatic process is, you have to find the equation of state in adiabatic process. This is the equation of state for a gas with internal energy. You have to find the adiabatic process equation. So you are given that PV, it is equals to U by 3. So from this you can write U is equals to 3 PV. All right. Now if you use the first law of thermodynamics, because if you are talking about the adiabatic process, that means dQE will be equals to 0. We will use the first law now. So first law states what? dQ is equals to du plus dW, right? Now you see we are dealing with adiabatic process, so dQ will be equals to 0. So you can write what? du plus dW, it is equals to 0, right? Now you see du, if you take the differentiation of this 3 PV, so what you will get? 3P dV plus 3V dP plus dW can be written as what? PdV. So this is equals to 0. So what you will get here? 4PdV, it is equals to minus of 3VdP. All right. So from this, what you can write? If you can write here, if you take the like terms, means pressure terms in one side and the other volume term in one side. So you can write what? You can write it as 4 by 3. I'm taking minus sign to the other side. So I'm taking 4 by 3. All right. dV by V, it is equals to dP by P. All right. Now when you will integrate this on both the side, yes or no? And plus there will be a constant, yes or no? Then what you can write it as minus 4 by 3 integration of 1 by V is what? ln V, it is equals to ln P plus ln C. This is the constant term. Yes or no? So from this, if you see, you can write what? PV, it is equals to what? PV to the power, just a second. I'm doing it in one more step. Here you can see. This is ln V to the power. It will become power now minus 4 by 3. It is equals to, in the right hand side, you are having what? ln P plus means what? Multiplication ln C. So you can write, if you remove the logarithm, what you can write? You can write this is b to the power minus 4 by 3. So to make it positive, if I bring this p to the other side or any other thing to the other side, you can say, you can just equate and say, if you bring it to the other side, p, it is b to the power what? Minus 4 by 3. So it will become numerator 4 by 3 and it is equals to what? Constant. That is p v to the power 4 by 3. It is constants. So you can write this is the adiabatic process. P v to the power 4 by 3 is constant. It is very clear. You have to just integrate it and simplify. Clear? Now let's see the next question. Here it is say the internal energy of n mole of a gas, it is given by this equation. Here V is the volume, T is the temperature, A is the constant. Now 1 mole of the gas, it is in the state T1 V1 and it is allowed to expand adiabatically into vacuum. There is, you have to focus on this term, okay, adiabatically into vacuum to a final state T2 by2. Then the temperature T2 is what? Internal energy is given to your FOA system. You have to find the temperature T2 when 1 mole of the gas, it is in state this one and it is allowed to expand adiabatically into vacuum to the final state this one. So you see, whenever you are talking about adiabatically into vacuum, that means it is a free expansion. This is something that you need to remember. All right. So if you are talking about free expansion, you know the internal energy is constant. Internal energy is constant means what? The initial and final state energy will be what? Equal. So if you use this equation and you write E1 and E2, then you can write 3 by 2 RT1 because n is equals to 1 minus A by V1. It is equals to what? 3 by 2 RT2 minus A by V2. Yes or no? Now if you see 3 by 2 RT1, if I'm taking this A by V1, so 3 by 2 RT2 I'm keeping this one because we need the value of T2. And if I bring this A by V to the other side, you can write it as what? 3 by 2 are T1. All right. This is a plus sign here. I am taking A common. You will have what? 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1. Right. Now you see you need the value of T2. Take this entire term to the right hand side. So this 3 by 2R will cancel this 3 by 2 and you will have T1, the first term. Plus the second term will be what? It will be 2A by what? 3R. Within the bracket you will have 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1. Yes or no? This is what? So if you see the answer, it is T1 plus 2 by 3 A by R, 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1. So the correct option is option C. So this is how you can calculate using the very basic things about a process. All right. Now let's see the next question. Here it is said, the concept of conservation of energy is another way to describe which of the following. So we already have seen, without looking the option also, you can say the conservation of energy. It is related to what? It is related to the first law of thermodynamics, right? Because the first law of thermodynamics says that energy can neither be created nor it can be destroyed. It can be converted from one form to another. So the concept of conservation of energy, it is another way to describe the first law of thermodynamics. The next is the ratio of slope of isothermal curve and slope of adiabatic curve. It is equals to what? So this you see, slope of isothermal curve and slope of adiabatic curve. We already know slope of adiabatic curve divided by slope of isothermal curve. It is equals to what? It is equals to gamma. So here you are asked the reverse, isothermal by adiabatic. So don't get confused, and it will be what? 1 by gamma. All right, the option C. Next you see, in a given process, what is given to you of an ideal gas. In a given process of an ideal gas, dW, it is equals to 0 and dQ it is less than 0. Then for the gas, out of this four statement, which is correct? The volume will increase, the temperature will decrease, the pressure will remain constant, or the temperature will increase. So you see, first law, let's see. The first law of thermodynamics. All right, if you see the first law of thermodynamics, dQ is equals to du plus dW. This is what we know. Now you see here it is said dW is equals to 0, means this term is 0. So dQ it is equals to what? Du. All right, here it is said dQ it is less than 0. dQ is less than 0 means du is also less than 0. Yes or no? That means U final, it must be what? Less than the U initial. Yes or no? Then only the internal energy change will be less than 0. So if you see, if the final state internal energy, it is less than the initial state internal energy, that means what will happen? The temperature will decrease. Yes or no? Because we know the formula for du is equals to what? NCV dt. So in that case, what you will see? The temperature is decreasing, na? Yes or no? So you will write here what? The temperature will decrease, right? So in a process of ideal gas, when dW is equals to 0 and dQ is less than 0, for that case, the temperature will decrease. So that's all about the first law of thermodynamics and the zeroth law. We have solved some problems. You can solve some more problems related to it for your practice. And in the next video, we will discuss about the second law of thermodynamics. So thank you so much. Have a good day.